Hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing great. Many students have been asking me for an end-to-end GCP data engineering project. Finally, the wait is over, everyone. I'm very excited to introduce a real-world industry standard project using the Google Cloud services for the first time in the healthcare domain. Yes, yes, you guys can showcase this project on your resume and you can be fully prepared for the interviews as well. I hope you guys are ready to work on this industry standard GCP project. Let's get into the details. Let's see what is the agenda of this particular video. First thing, I'm going to start with the understanding the healthcare life cycle. First, let us try to see how and what are the things that comes into the healthcare life cycle. Then we will see the project overview. What is the end goal of the project? And then we will also understand about the project architecture. How many data sources are there? How many platforms are there? How to move the data from the one platform to the another platform? How to integrate all of these services? We will try to see with an architecture. And then I will talk about the role of a data engineer. The role of a data engineer in this particular project. Then we will also see the GCP services that I have used in this particular project to create this healthcare project. And then the key techniques that we have introduced, such as the metadata driven approach or the optimizations, or it could be related to different things, we will see. Finally, we will also see how to enroll for the project. How to enroll for this particular project, I will talk about the end of the session. Okay, great. Before we jump on to the session, I would like to tell me about myself that my name is Sheikh Saidul, everyone. I have completed my master's degree from National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli. I have total 8 years of experience into the data and AI field. And I am a corporate trainer. I also teach in the corporate. I also have my own batches running on the GCP data engineering. I also offering a GCP data engineering full length course. Also, those who are very interested in this GCP data engineering full length course, you can reach out to me. Okay, great. Now, what is this healthcare life cycle? That is what is our very first topic today. Healthcare life cycle. For example, let me take any hospital, right? Any hospital, let me take. For example, assume that there is a Apollo. Let us take a Apollo hospital. In a Apollo hospital may have a multiple branches. Let us just take Hyderabad. In Hyderabad itself, Apollo may be having multiple branches, right? So let us take one or two branches. For example, we take two branches, right? What usually happens whenever a patient is whenever a patient is feeling not good about their health, right? What they can do, they try to enter into the hospital or they try to visit the hospital. The moment the patients are visiting the hospital, what is the hospital management will do is that they get the details of the patients. They get the details of the patient. They take all the details of the patients, right? So this is what they will do. They take all the details of the patients. Once they have taken all the details of the patients, they try to send them to a proper provider. According to their problem, they send them to the provider. Who is provider, sir? A provider is nothing but a doctor. According to the healthcare terminology, a provider is nothing but a doctor. So a patient will be sent to the provider for providing you the proper services, right? So what the provider will do, according to their situation or the problem or the illness, they try to do some kind of a general checkups or a treatments or surgeries or whatever the things. Telemedical services also nowadays we are seeing. So according to their problem, they start providing you the services, right? Once they have provided the services, what usually happens is that a proper bill gets generated for them, right? Once a proper hospital management, what they will do, they try to generate a bill for them. A proper bill will be generated, right? So what once the bill is generated, what the patient or a insurer has to do is that if a patient is already having an insurance policy, the bill will be totally paid by the insurance. If the patient does not have an insurance policy, they have to pay it. So either in some situations both will be paying it, in some situation the partial payment is done by the patients, or some other partial will be done by the insurer. In some situations both will be taken care by the patient itself. So that's all. Now once the payment is done, what a proper tracking or follow-ups and all of those details will happen. At proper tracking of the bill or the follow-ups and all of those details will happen. Once this tracking is done, that's where, if everything is good, the patient will be discharged. A patient will be discharged from the hospital. So this is how a simple healthcare life cycle looks like. The moment the patient is visiting the hospital and until the patient is discharged, these many things will happen. And in between there could be a claims, raising a claims, there could be a provider providing a different services, or maybe the patient sometimes stays at the hospital. All of those details comes into the picture here, right? So this is how a simple healthcare life cycle looks like. I hope you guys are getting the point now, right? To show you this thing, I have created a simple chart. You can see here there could be a patient visit, that is the first thing, and then you have a service provision, then bill generation and the claims review, and then the follow-ups and payments and the payment tracking. So these are the things that are comes under the healthcare revenue life cycle. So these are the steps will be there. Now what is the agenda of this project, sir? What is the main agenda, or what is the main end goal of this project, sir, is that this project is mainly focusing on building a scalable data lake in the Google Cloud platform for revenue cycle management in the healthcare domain. So the main purpose is that, see now, this particular hospital, maybe the Apollo or Manipal or whatever it is, they wanted to understand their revenue cycle. They wanted to understand their revenue cycle, how the revenue is happening, and whether they wanted to streamline such as the processes. For example, they may be having the data that is coming from these multiple data sources, right? Multiple hospitals, right? So they wanted to centralize the data into a one single location, and they wanted to clean this data and transform the data from these multiple data sources so that they can streamline the process, such as the billing process, they can able to streamline it, or the claims processing, or patient's history. They can able to understand the entire patient's history for one person, and you can be able to properly track the revenue also. If they wanted to streamline this entire process like billing, claims, patients, or revenue tracking, so that it will be easy for them to manage the entire things. So that's the reason for a healthcare providers or insurance companies, this entire things has to be properly cleaned, streamlined. So that is the reason we are going to build a scalable data lake using the GCP services for them, so that the entire revenue cycle management will be on top of the Google Cloud platform, so that whenever they wanted to see some kind of details about the billing and claims and patients, they can able to check it out, right? So this is going to be very interesting, and I'm going to come up with a plenty of the data sources, plenty of the analogies, plenty of the different concepts that I'm going to incorporate here, right? What is the architecture of this project? The main important thing for every data project is the architecture. So what is the architecture, this one, sir? If you ask me, now you understand that, sir, we are having a data sources. Now you can think of a real world scenario. There could be a multiple hospitals, right? So assume that in this particular project we are taking the two hospital A as well as hospital B, and we are getting the data from these hospitals. So what usually happens in the real time is that they usually store these patients details, or electronic medical records, EMR data. Usually they store it in the databases. Either it could be a SQL database, or it could be a MySQL or a PostgreSQL. So to replicate the real world scenario, we are actually getting the data from, we are actually setting up the data sources such as the hospital A database, maybe in the MySQL, maybe in the PostgreSQL. So we are having the data sources, that is the data, nothing but EMR data, electronic medical records data, that is coming from the two hospital databases. And then we are also getting the data claims information, claims data, claims CSV files on a monthly basis. On a monthly basis, we are also getting the claims CSV files. And then we are also having a standard CPT codes for the medical procedures. right? So this is how. So these are the 4 data sources that we have. One is hospital A database, hospital B database, claims, CPT codes, and everything. And then we are going to ingest this data. We are going to ingest this data ingestion to the landing layer. We get the data from these multiple data sources, and we are going to ingest this data to the landing layer in the Google Cloud Storage. We are going to ingest it into the respective folders into the landing layer, right? So this is what we are doing, guys. So we are going to take this data from these data sources. We are going to ingest it into the landing layer to the respective folders of their sources. Once the data is there in the landing layer, this is what we call it as a centralizing the data, because this database may be coming from different locations, different sources. So we are centralizing the data into a one single location. That is what is your landing layer, centralizing the data. Once the data centralizing is completed, the main importance is that we wanted to build the analytics, right? For analytics, we are following the Medallion architecture. In the Medallion architecture, we will understand more about what is Medallion architecture, each and every concept in very detail in the project while we are discussing the project. Now, to give you a high level architecture, in the Medallion architecture, you will be having the bronze layer, also having the silver layer and gold layer, right? So the data will be moved from the bronze to the silver to the gold. But how the data to the bronze will come? So from the landing layer, we are going to move the data from the landing layer to the bronze layer. Why we are doing it, sir? Sir, because the landing layer, the data is in the form of a files. And if I wanted to properly query it for my own analysis purpose, we are going to move the data from the landing layer to the bronze tables. And bronze tables, we are going to build on top of the BigQuery, where these bronze tables are very useful for querying purpose. Once the bronze is there, we already know that the bronze data may have a raw, because this is a raw data, may have a plenty of the issues. We are going to clean it, send it to the silver, and from silver to the gold according to the aggregated layer. Because according to the aggregations, according to the use case requirements, we are going to move the data from the silver to the gold. Finally, this gold data can be visualized with the help of the reports and dashboards, maybe by using the different BI tools such as Looker or a Tableau or whatever the Power BI, right? So this is how the flow works. So you have the data sources, you are ingesting the data and then loading the data to the landing layer, from the landing layer to the bronze, silver, gold, and from the gold to the visualization reports or dashboards created using the Power BI or Tableau or any other Looker BI tools, right? Finally, to orchestrate these jobs, because we are going to be creating a lot of jobs here, maybe you may be having a SQL job, some kind of a Python jobs also we are also creating a PySpark jobs for the data ingestion also. So we may be having plenty of the jobs. To orchestrate these plenty of the jobs, we are going to use the workflow orchestration tools such as Airflow also here for the orchestration purpose, for moving the data from these data sources until the visualization, whatever the orchestration, because we don't want it to do the things manually. We wanted to automate everything. To automate the things, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use workflow orchestration tool to schedule them, orchestrate them, manage them, and run them in a simple and easy manner. So this is what we are going to do. Okay. Yeah. So this is how the entire project architecture looks like. So now let's go to the next topic, that is, as a data engineer, what we are going to do in this particular project. As a data engineer, we are going to focus on the very first activity, that is data ingestion. Now that you know, we have 4 data sources, we are going to ingest the data from these data sources to the landing layer. And after that, we will also take care of data storage. We must store this data. That is nothing but we have to centralize this data into the landing layer. And then we will also take care of the data processing. We must process the data, as we now know that it may have a plenty of the issues, right? Maybe the duplicates or the null values or the bad records or unnecessary data. So we need to do the data processing, and we will also take care of the data analysis and data pipeline creation, and we will also work on the data orchestration, and finally data visualization. In this particular project, as a data engineer, we are going to take care of each and every activity that I have mentioned here, such as data ingestion, data storage, data processing, data analysis, data pipeline creations, data orchestration with help of the Airflow DAGs. We are going to create the visualization as well. So this is, as a data engineer, we are going to see. And the next thing that I wanted to speak up is about GCP services that I have used. In this particular project, I have used quite a few GCP data engineering services. Let me gonna talk about one by one. The very first thing that I have used is GCS, Google Cloud Storage. As you know, GCS is one of the scalable, fully managed object storage service. So I'm going to talk about what is GCS, and in this particular project we are using the GCS as a storing the raw data as well as processed data in the form of a files, because GCS is a scalable as well as fully managed object storage service to store any type of a data, any amount of a data, any number of files. And after that, I'm also using the BigQuery. We all know about the BigQuery, which is a modern data warehouse or a data analytics platform which is serverless to store structured data. We are going to use the BigQuery here. In BigQuery, we can able to store the data, process the data, analyze the data, and query the data also. Right? So now BigQuery is serving as an analytical engine for storing the data and querying the data for us in this particular project. And also, we are also using the Dataproc. Dataproc is a fully managed Spark and Hadoop environment based service. So one can able to create the Spark jobs, one can able to execute the Spark jobs with the help of the Dataproc, which is a cluster based environment to run the Spark and Hadoop jobs. And here we are going to use the Dataproc for data processing, data ingestion, and all of those data integration purpose with the help of the Apache Spark. Here we are going to create the PySpark jobs, everyone. And after that, I'm going to use the Cloud Composer. A Cloud Composer is one of the cloud-based ETL service which is built on top of the Airflow. Airflow is one of the open source service, right? Which is built on top of the Airflow only the Composer is. It is a fully managed Airflow environment. One can able to create the DAGs and schedule the DAGs, monitor the DAGs, and create a complex workflows also here. And we are going to automate all the pipelines, jobs, and SQL jobs, PySpark jobs with the help of the Composer, which is acting as a workflow orchestration tool for us. And then we are also using the Cloud SQL for creating the databases. Now that we have to replicate the real world scenario, so for that one, I am going to create a transactional database, that is Cloud SQL, MySQL, to store the electronic medical records, nothing but a EMR data for our hospital databases. Right, for hospital 1 and hospital 2, we need to have a database. I'm going to setting up those databases on the Cloud SQL for acting as a transactional databases. And I hope you guys know that the Cloud SQL is one of the fully managed database as a service, offering you the MySQL, SQL Server, and PostgreSQL as well. Okay, so one can able to store data, structured data, which is having a proper schema to it. It is acting as a RDBMS solution in the Google Cloud Platform. And then we have a GitHub. So I am going to integrate the entire source code with help of the GitHub. So because we need to properly store the data and take care of the version control of the data. So that's the reason I'm using the GitHub for enabling the version control to implement the CI/CD. And I'm also using the cloud build, guys, to automate the entire deployment process for the all of this entire project. Right, so we don't want it to do the things manually. As soon as that code is pushed to the repository, it has to be built, it has to be deployed to the Cloud Composer so that it will be running in the Google Cloud Platform. So to automate the CI/CD platform, I'm going to use the cloud build. I hope you guys know that cloud build is one of the fully managed CI/CD platform. Okay, so that is what. So these are all the service. Even more also we are going to use, but these are the high level services that we are going to use in our project, right? Yep. And finally, very interesting, the very high level key concepts that we have used, key techniques that are involved in this particular project, because we have to replicate the real world scenario of the companies, right? I am going to use the industry standard techniques only in this particular thing. The very first approach that we are going is metadata driven approach. We don't want it to hard code anything. We are going to create the config files. Those config files are serving the purpose of metadata driven approach. And then I'm going to implement the CD type 2. Right? So to take care of the historical data management, we are going to properly go with the SCD type 2, which is the industry standard. And then incremental data loading with help of the watermarking method. Right? So incremental data loading for a watermarking method for the data ingestion purpose we are going to use. And then common data model, which is very important in this particular project. You see, now that you have a data that is coming from the multiple data sources, right? The hospital 1 and hospital 2. The data is same. When I say the idea of the data is same, but you have a data that is coming from one hospital, you have a data that is coming from another hospital. You have to make it as a one single model. You have to make it as a one common data model, then only it will be giving you a better result. So that's the reason we are going to implement the common data model for both the hospitals into a single model. We are going to create it from the both. So that is where we are going to implement the common data model. And then we are also creating a medallion architecture with a bronze, silver, and gold for our organizing the data in the BigQuery properly. And we are also incorporating the logging and monitoring. For we are also incorporating the error handling. So these are the industry techniques that all the time, whenever we create a pipeline, whenever the pipeline is executing, it has to properly log the events. And if any kind of errors are there, it has to be properly handled. So we are incorporating the logging and monitoring as well as error handling. And I'm also building this as a CI/CD because I am very lazy and all the data engineers supposed to be lazy, so that you are going to do not to do the things manually. We are going to automate everything from the scratch to the end. We are going to implement a CI/CD to automate the entire CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment process. To automate it, we are going to incorporate the automation as well, and automation techniques, scripts that we are going to create it. And finally, if anywhere the optimization techniques are required, maybe in the BigQuery or maybe in the data ingestion process, if you need to tune the code, if you need to tune the queries, if you need to tune the pipelines, we are going to add the optimizations wherein all required. So these are all the things we are going to incorporate in our project. So this is, I just given you a high level idea while I'm talking about each and every concept in a different areas. I'm going to talk into the deeper so that you guys can able to understand it easily, right? So these are very important as per the industry standard we have implemented it, right? So that is what is there. Finally guys, how to enroll for the project. How to enroll for the project, let me gonna talk about it. To enroll for the project, very simple guys. What we have to do is that I'm going to tell you, the very first thing you do is that you try to join my WhatsApp group. I'm going to paste the link in the chat. You try to join to the WhatsApp group, because if you guys are facing any issues while implementing this project, you can ask in the group and people will be there who have already implemented the project. They may help you, or I will also be there. And if you guys are facing any issues, you can put up a screenshot, you can put up a message properly so that I can able to reply to it, so that you can easily fix the problem, right? So join to my WhatsApp group that I'm going to paste it in the chat box. And one more thing, to enroll to this project, right? I have two methods. The very first thing is that you can enroll to the project via website. I have my own website. I'm going to showcase it to you. The link for the website is also there in the bottom. In the chat box, you will be having all the links. Go over to the chat box and the description. Right. Actually, in the chat box or a description, you will be having all the links, guys. So how to enroll to this project via website, I'm going to tell you first. So you will be having the link, right? Just go to the link. I'm going to showcase it to you. Maybe let me go open it. I hope you guys are able to see. For example, how it looks like for you. Maybe I can go to the incognito mode, right? So how it looks like for you. So you may be having a link in the description, right? So you can just go ahead and copy the link and paste it here. I'm pasting the link here. So this is what is my website, you can just go ahead, click on this enter. The moment you have entered, right? So you see here GCP Data Engineering end-to-end project in the healthcare domain, right? So you have here the entire thing which we are covered. So about the course you have, what you are going to learn in this particular project, which I have just told you everything, and you have a course content. So you have project material, and you also have a all the lectures, lecture 1, lecture 2. This is a full length of 8 hours video. You can see here the course, this is a very less amount that we have mentioned here, and we have a discount, guys. So this discount is only for this particular month, and after that you may not be able to get this much of a discount. 500 rupees is a discount for this month. Those who are enrolling it in the next month, what they are going to get, they are not going to get the discount. I'm telling you guys, right? You can just click on add to cart. Just click on add to cart. Before adding to the cart, you have to make yourself provide your username, password. If you are for the first time, you try to click on the register now. You try to click on the register now. The moment you hit the register now button, you are going to enter your first name, last name, username, email, password, on all of those details. You try to provide all of these details, click on the view cart, and try to complete the transaction. Try to complete the transaction. Okay, so make sure that the amount is 3099 only. And once you have enrolled, then you will be able to see all the videos. Then you will be able to have an access to all the recordings, guys. So these are all the project recordings, and this is for all the levels, whether you are a data professional, whether you wanted to enter into the data engineering, or whether you already working as a GCP data engineer, you wanted to brush up your knowledge. In that case, you can go for this one. And I see that you already yesterday only have updated this entire project, guys. I see that already 2 people already enrolled for the project. That's very good. This is a full length 8 hours duration video. And yesterday only, I see that yesterday only I have updated a few of the things in this particular thing. And the course is by me only, and the material included, notebook links are provided, repo links are shared, and the requirements, when it comes to the requirement, you see a basic knowledge on the Python and SQL is more than enough to complete this project. The basic knowledge on the Python and SQL is more than enough. Who is the target audience for the project? If you ask me, the aspiring data engineers as well as data professionals. Aspiring data engineers as well as data professionals are the audience for the course, right? So this is how. So this is the very first method if one wanted to enroll to this project. Okay, so that is what. And sir, I don't wanted to follow this entire method, so you can directly contact me if you wanted to enroll for the project directly. So you can save my number, that is, you see here, guys, 73051011711. You can directly ping me. You can directly ping me, guys. Also, I have pasting all the links in the in the chat box, or also in the description of this particular video. Please join to our WhatsApp group and ping me directly if you guys have any questions, and all the things are here. Okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed the session thoroughly. And if anyone is looking, or if anyone wanted to enter into this particular project or learn more about the project, and please try to enroll for the project. And if your friends or your family members or anyone who is already working in the GCP, or who wanted to enter into the GCP, if you guys wanted to understand the end-to-end exposure of the industry standard project, this is the right platform for you guys. I'm telling you, please try to enroll for the project. Please like this video, subscribe this video, share this video with your friends and family, right? Yeah, all the links that are required for you to enroll for the course are join to my WhatsApp group, or ping me directly, or there in the chat box as well as the description in this particular video, right? Yep. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the session thoroughly. Please try to subscribe to my channel as well as like this video and share this video with your friends. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you, guys.